Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Passion Projects. Somehow it is already December, so welcome to the first podcast of December. Today's guest is a doctor of chiropractic as well as a vocal advocate for healthier nutrition, better lifestyle choices, and how you can reverse metabolic diseases such as diabetes or heart disease or even like Alzheimer's and dementia. Dr. Kenny has currently over 30,000 subscribers on TikTok, and he goes live every morning and I believe every evening too. How to fix insulin resistance, how to reverse metabolic diseases, and just a large swath of things that could be very interesting and very helpful to a lot of people. It was an absolute pleasure to have him on the podcast. I feel like through our conversation I really learned a lot, and I will actually start taking a lot of what he said and kind of implementing that into my daily life. I hope this conversation does the same for you, so without further ado, please welcome our guest, Dr. Kenneth Harless.
Well, Dr. Kenny, for people that don't know you yet, I see you've definitely kind of started to garner a bit of an audience on TikTok, which is really cool to see. And I just happened to run across your TikTok live like 2 weeks ago, and it got some really cool information. But tell me, how did you start? Like, what made you want to become a doctor, and then what led you into doing content creation for that avenue?
What a conversation. This is to be a little bit everywhere, but
Perfect.
when I was probably 19 years of age, and I had this life-altering episode where I grew up in West Virginia with chiropractic. I was scared to death, didn't know what to do, was getting migraines, went in to see this guy, and it transformed my life like immediately. I'm Christian, and I know when God puts something on my heart, man, I just take action. So I went on to become one. My family kind of thought I was lost my rocker. Fast forward, I go out to school in Iowa, get my degree and doctorate of chiropractic, go up to Michigan, and I met my wife and I met a mentor. I was there for almost 18 years, had a very successful practice in Dundee, Michigan. Community was amazing. I mean, I can't say enough great things about them, how they opened arms to me. And 2020 hit, and we decided to move our family down to Florida. So we're in the St. Augustine area. Now, before all this happened, I had never done anything like this. I mean, I'd done a little bit of stuff, but nothing like
Sure.
this. And so I was an intern back in 2003. And one of my close friends, I found a brain tumor in his 9-year-old son. And they gave this little boy like 6 months to live, Adam. And we ended up getting 5 years, and I didn't know anything like I know now. And right before he passed, my father-in-law came to me and had pancreatic cancer.
Good
And so
Lord.
I lost 2 people super close to me within like a month. And I remember God just put this on my heart, like, you need to look deeper. And I started studying nutrition really heavily, physiology, how it all works. And then last year, we had some things happen, and we had lost a lot of everything we had generated in our life. And I got sick. I had every sign of insulin resistance. And I went in the hospital with a ruptured appendix.
Whoa.
I went in for like almost a week. They did a cardio version on me, which I had AFib. It's now gone, but they did a cardio version on me. I was in AFib for 5 years, and this just keeps going up. And I started noticing these things, these trends in my practice, because I saw a lot of people. I mean, autoimmune disease when I started in '03 was very rare, and now it's rampant, and so I just started seeing these things, right? Well, I ended up waking up from this procedure, vomiting bile, like as dark as my shirt.
You're
It
kidding.
gets in my No, dead serious. It's supposed to be a 20-minute procedure, and they shouldn't even have done it because I had spit up bile earlier in the morning, but they decided to go. We have all this documented too, by the way. But they decided to do the procedure, and I wake up and it gets in my lungs and I'm choking to death. It's called aspiration. And it was like 2.5 hours of being waterboarded. It was insane. And I go up to the room and I'm on 40 liters of oxygen. You should be on like 4. My wife's told everything was okay. I show up like I don't even know how many doctors, nurses around me. It was insane, dude. So I
Yeah.
finally come to, and then like 2 days later, I'm supposed to leave. Well, I had a turkey baster, like almost looked like for Thanksgiving, right? Like, and they would drain these abscesses. So they were supposed to do a CT scan, which they didn't do. And I go home for like 3-4 days. I feel fantastic. I'm getting my strength back. It was from a Thursday to a Sunday night. I can't get out of bed that Sunday. And I wake up and I can't remember, my white blood cell count was 34,000 or 40,000. It should be like 4. Ambulance picks me
Goodness.
up. I go back in the hospital for another God, it was almost 2 months. I don't
You're
know how many surgeries later. I'm sorry.
in the hospital for almost 2 months?
Almost 2 months. My poor wife was driving every day an hour one way. And so I get out and then I can't stand, I can't sit. My wife, like when the Bible says, when you have the right, find the right woman, the more valuable rubies and gold, that is the absolute truth. I mean, I couldn't stand it. What my epiphany was were how God places these pieces of puzzle to you, right? Is I'm in the hospital, I'm not walking, I can't stand, I can't even wipe my own butt. My wife has to. I mean, it's that humbling, right? And I'm a pretty prideful guy, and I mean, she's like, I can't walk, stand. I mean, I can't brush my teeth. I'm so weak. I can't even have a conversation. And so they start coming in every hour for like 2 months, almost 2 months in my room at night because I was on blood thinners and all these other things to check my blood. Well, the more you do this, the more insulin resistant you become. And I was like, and I didn't know this stuff at the time, but I'm more tired. I'm losing muscle, all this stuff. And I'm like, they start injecting me with insulin. And I'm thinking, I'm not diabetic like most people. I'm like, that's not what it is, but I didn't know that, right? So I get out of the hospital. I'm out for about 3 weeks before I can go back in to get these turkey basters removed because they won't take them out this time until they do the right.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, but the hospital got hacked. So the computer system. So I'm like 3 weeks, can't sleep on my back or my side. I'm a side sleeper. I can't because of a back end. So I'm like just sitting there, like, I mean, I hadn't had a shower in like 3 months, dude, right? So long story short, I finally get out. I don't know what we're going to do. I have studied for 25 years and I prayed to God. I'm like, God, I
Sure.
will teach the world what I know. Just give me, show me the way. And I don't think it was maybe a month or two later. I'm slowly getting my strength back. I couldn't even go to my daughter's fifth grade reunion or for graduation. I had a tube still in me. I mean, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
And we were in the process of moving. I mean, it was
All
crazy.
these things, all
Everything.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Wow.
my poor wife, it was insane. We had to uproot my daughter. And so we do all these things. And it was like my friend reaches out to me. She sees me on Facebook. I had changed my profile picture. And we just start this conversation. I had studied the power of fasting for like 25 years. I've been fasting forever. And I understand the power of it. And I'm like, okay. She goes, Kenny, we do a little bit of fasting and we do this tea and this fiber. It's in the PDR.net, which is where doctors prescribe drugs from. But these are nutraceuticals. And she's like, so that means they're standardized. Most people don't understand this, but like the reason a lot of like physicians have issues with supplements, it's not that supplements don't work, but they're not standardized. So you don't know the dose or what people are taking, but a nutraceutical is in the PDR. Okay. And she's like, these things are as effective as diabetic meds, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight loss meds. I'm like, well, if this is half as good, Adam, is what she's saying. I'm like, this is like Apple stock before the iPhone, right? So
Sure.
I'm up. My dad's diagnosed with prostate cancer. I took up to West Virginia to see him. They just take his prostate out. My mom's got renal cell carcinoma. I find out my aunt has freaking pancreatic. This is all in like, dude, like a month. And I'm like, I'm just lit on fire to find answers, right? So this box shows up to my home and I just gotten back. I think I was on this chlorogenic acid tea that I drink all day when I'm not eating for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And dude, my mental clarity comes back, my energy. I'm like, and I'm peeing a lot. Now I understand the reason I'm peeing, my body's dumping sugar. So the protocol keeps blood sugar and insulin low. And if you understand diet, if a diabetic gets this, like if their blood sugar stays low, I always ask them, do you need to inject more or less insulin? So do these companies make money when you eat and take and inject or when you don't? Just ask these
When
simple
you
questions,
when you
right?
inject, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and they were like, oh, so I literally texted this woman. I'm like, look, I'm all in. Just tell me what I got to do. Now, everything I'd worked for 25 years had disappeared. And so I'm like, I don't even want to tell my wife this. So the next day I get up and I call her and I didn't literally barely had the money on my credit card to do the thing. But I'm like, I know this is what he has designed me to do. I just trust it. I do it. And I'm told I have to start making content. So I start making content, not even knowing what I'm doing. I'm thinking TikTok's a dance platform. Like this is stupid.
Well, it is, but
You know, right. But there's an education and then there's
sure,
entertainment,
there's
right?
there's many sides of TikTok.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I had another account you never saw that had 250,000 followers that they took
Whoa.
away. Oh yeah. And this is how effective what I do is. And well, when you start dipping into things, then they don't like that. So long story short, The day my wife and I were able to go put a down payment on a house that we're building, she gets this hesitation of fear. And the word fear stands for false emotion appearing real. And she goes, well, I go, what? She goes, oh my God. She goes, honey, what if TikTok goes away? I said, honestly, I own it here. As Christ said, those that gain more retain any. From him who hath not shall be taken away that which he has. And so I go, so what? The very next day, God, as my witness, they shut my account down. And
Whoa.
so I'm like, I didn't even hesitate, brother. I just rebuilt and retooled, right? And I grew it even faster this time, even though I don't have the followers yet. And my other platforms took off. And so I've never done a podcast. I've had people from UK that wanted to do it. I was getting ready to set these things up, all this stuff. And like, people are like, you've seen me talk. I mean, I have hundreds and thousands of before and after photos showing people this stuff, how they reverse type 2 diabetes. My own cousin called me a type 1 for 35 years. So riddle me this. I always ask people, a type 1, well, they don't make insulin enough. A type 2 made way too much insulin for too long a period of time. And so, well, I'm like, the only thing they've got in common is they can't control blood sugar, but yet they both inject.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
Right. People are like, oh my
Sure.
God. Right. And I said, she called me up, my own cousin. And I never met her. Like I was a little guy. She's a little bit older than myself, but she was tight with my mom. And my mom was on this. And my mom's renal cell carcinoma. She has kidney cancer. And most people don't know this, but all disease cells need glucose. And insulin acts like a key to your car, right? So it acts like a key to the cells in your body. So you need to have a battery in this to open that car up to get the nutrients. And so a lot of people will take high-end supplements and but they get tired. They're tired all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's because your key, the battery is dead. You have insulin resistance. So I'm going to show, I don't know if this will show up, but I'll show you. This is a printout I always show people. This is what is
Oh,
really
interesting.
happening that people are seeing. So now what I show people is this, right? So this is insulin. Let me see. Is that backwards? Oh, it's backwards. Okay. I'll pull up a different picture.
I
Sorry,
was right.
brother.
I think it showed up right.
It looks like it's backwards. Is it?
No, it's good. I can see it right.
Okay. So this right here, the Bible says no good tree may bear bad fruit. When you fix the root, you correct the fruit. Now that's a $9 trillion wheel of torture, I call it. So when you fix that, you get rid of all this. Now this takes 15 to 20 years of insulin resistance. And here's what they tell people to do. They tell you to wake up and eat first thing in the morning. And when you eat, you've turned fat burning off and you've turned sugar burning on. Do they make money when you eat or when you don't?
When you eat.
Right? I mean, it's very simple.
I know the term breakfast literally means to break your fast. So
Exactly.
I've always thought that was an interesting angle once you know that. And as someone, sorry to cut you off real fast, but I've done intermittent fasting for a long time, maybe on and off, but I was pretty consistent with it for multiple years. And I found it to be a very good way to kind of like launch yourself into your day. I don't know if that kind of goes along with what you think is a good way to do it, but
100%. So the Bible references fasting all the time. Every ancient textbook does. So when does our body heal? Most people say when you sleep. And while it does heal the most when you sleep, it heals when you're not eating. So here's how it works. When you're not eating, your blood sugar is lower. And what happens is when you eat, your body converts that food into blood glucose. Carbohydrates cause the highest spike unless you've removed the fiber out of it, and it's called a refined carb. They add modified food starch, which causes even a higher spike than table sugar. So protein's middle of the road, fat barely spikes the blood sugar at all. So when you eat food, it's converted into this. Your pancreas then makes insulin, and insulin tells your body to store fat and to grow tissue. So your body's going, oh, wait a minute, we've got fuel. Let's store it for when we don't have it, and let's grow tissue while we got it. Now, when the body robs Peter or pays Peter, it's got to rob Paul. So when one hormone's high, another one's low, like the tide, right?
gotcha. Okay.
So now your immune system reduces. Your reproductive system reduces.
And you're saying that's just because you're eating food that's happening?
Yes. They know, especially sugar. So most people don't understand that when you're eating carbohydrates, even though they may taste salty, they're low calorie. Bread, pasta, chips, crackers, rice, potatoes, those all spike your blood sugar. And the higher the spike goes, the more insulin. Now, just if you have kids, your kids eventually don't listen. That's called insulin resistance. And your body's given you warning signs of this for 15 years before you ever get diagnosed and lose blood sugar control and become
Gotcha.
diabetic, right? Okay. Now, when you become diabetic, your cardiovascular disease goes up 80%. Dementia and Alzheimer's goes up 81%. They now call it diabetes type 3.
I've heard
So
that. Yeah.
what happens is this. So now these people are eating. And have you been given the advice to eat every 2 hours to keep your metabolism up?
Not personally, but I feel like just as a society, we probably have been kind of driven that way. Like, but there's such an abundance of food that we're surrounded by. And especially bad food that's just so overprocessed, and I just feel like we're just told as a society to eat, eat, eat. You know?
Yep. So when you eat, you spike blood sugar. Okay. So think about this. I don't drink alcohol, but
Yeah, me
over
either.
the summer I had a drink. I had to celebrate my 20th anniversary. We got an old fashioned. Now, because I don't drink, I didn't need much of the drink. And I think I got a quarter of the way through and I could feel it. Right. Now, if I drank that every day, I would need more of that substance, obviously, to get the same effect. But if you're eating every 2 hours and you're waking up and you're breaking fast when you eat, your body keeps making insulin.
Now, okay, that was a good analogy. That made
You
sense.
follow me? So now the cells stop listening. And because you can't get the energy in the cell, now once you get insulin resistance, you really get exhausted because you blew the battery out in the insulin and the key. So now you can't get the nutrients into the cell. So the body keeps making more insulin. It's called hyperinsulinemia.
Oh, okay.
Sugar's so freaking corrosive, Adam, that if a diabetic has a coma, if they're in a coma or they pass out, and the EMTs pick them up, they inject them with the glucose. Anything ends in OSE, that means sugar. So glucose solution, and if they miss the vessel or implode the vessel, it necrotizes the tissue. It means it rots the tissue.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why your body's clearing it out of the bloodstream as quickly as it can. And when
Hmm.
it can't clear it anymore, you've lost blood sugar control. But that's how they diagnose you with diabetes.
Oh my
They
goodness.
never
Yeah.
check insulin. So you've got 20 years of belly fat. That's a warning sign of insulin resistance. Skin tags, which is too much insulin in your skin. Xanthosis nigricans, those dark patches under your neck. You can't put on muscle. That's called sarcopenia. That was me as a kid. You're getting gut issues. Any medical condition ends in itis, ITIS. That means inflammation. You're getting autoimmune diseases. Auto means your body. That means yourself. You're attacking your own tissue. Your joints hurt because it's shoving that in there. Erectile dysfunction in men, polycystic ovarian syndrome in women, obesity. It's crazy. And if people understand, if you go to a mall and you know where you're located, you can get to where you want to go. But they've removed that and they treat that. And if you fix that, this stuff starts to self-correct itself. Your body is a self-healing organism and machine. And when people fast, that's when their body heals.
Yeah.
But they've got people eating all day long. And people all the time diabetically are told, I'm told not to fast. It's bad for me. And I say, okay, let's look at this logically. Let's say that you and I ate our last meal last night at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. After about 6 to 8 hours, your body's burned all the blood sugar off. Your brain and my brain is 2% of our body weight on average, and 30% of that metabolic output. It burns 30% of the energy. So at 2 a.m, our blood sugar is low and insulin's low. Insulin, when it's low, your body makes ketones. Ketones are anti-inflammatory. That means they bring down inflammation. When people do what I teach, they're like, oh my God, my mental clarity's back. I don't care if they're menopause or anything else. What they also notice, their joint pain's gone, their waistline starts to shrink. The scale may not change because you're building muscle. When you fast, you increase human growth hormone, testosterone. So now what's happening is that also stimulates BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And that literally grows new brain cells. Now, sugar destroys all of that. And also because you've dropped inflammation in the body, the reproductive system rebalances. It enhances because your brain's going, wait a minute, we don't have fuel, but we've got plenty of stored fat. And when insulin's low, fat's got to go. And what it does, it starts dipping into this fat as ketones, puts you in nutritional ketosis. And so now the immune system rebalances, your reproductive system turns back on too, because you're not eating. So if you're digesting food all day long, you're shutting those things down. Anybody out there with
Sure.
fertility issues? Anybody out there having poor wound healing? Your joints aren't healing like they used to? Yeah, you're not diagnosed yet with diabetes, but guess what? You're on your way.
Will be.
And this is what people have no freaking clue about. Okay.
Why though? Why is that? Why is this not a common thing? Like, obviously you're a doctor. Like you've spent a lot of time and probably been given schooling or taken classes on some of this stuff. But why is this not a commonplace for people to know it? Just like we should know how to do our taxes from school. We should know how to do how the government runs. Like, why are these things not taught to us? Especially something like this that's our health.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. And I know women don't even understand their menstrual cycle and like what it's telling them. I know. So if you don't know what it is, you can't feed it. Right. Great question. That's a whole other topic, but
Sure.
it's, you know what I mean? Just to ask yourself this, you and I can be extremely intelligent people, but if we've been given the wrong information to study, what kind of results are you going to get? I mean, if you're an archer and you're shooting at the wrong target, I don't care how good you are. Right. And so, and this is what happens. And I have a lot of friends, you know, medically that come over with me because they're like, oh my God, I never realized. But like I break it down in a way that people can comprehend it, right? So these diabetics are told not to fast, right? So let me ask you a question, Adam. If you overconsume which macronutrient, carbohydrates, fats, or proteins, which one causes diabetes?
Like you mentioned before, carbohydrates would be.
Yep.
Yeah.
The American Heart Association tells us to consume 60% of our daily intake of food should be carbohydrates. So once you become diabetic eating that way, and I tell people, I don't really care if you believe me. I mean, you don't have to believe in gravity. If you fall off a building, you'll be introduced to it, right? I mean, it's, you know, but I say to them, you can eat clean all you want, but you're still spiking blood sugar and you're spiking insulin. Okay. And it's only a matter of time before the cells stop listening. They become resistant. Okay. So what happens is this. So they tell us to consume that. Now, research medically shows that if you consume that and become diabetic, you increase your cardiovascular risk by 80%. This is Dr. Benjamin Bickman, Why We Get Sick. He outlines all this for you. But in that, here's what happens. I forget how many people pass away in America every year, but it's a crazy number. It's like 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3 of cardiovascular disease, right? To put, yeah, to put that in perspective, right? If they ran that association, if that ran just a skydiving campaign, 1 out of 2 to 1 out of 3 parachutes wouldn't open. And if this is such an effective system, how come this disease is out of control? Why do we have and I'm not anti-medicine. It saved my life last year, right?
Sure.
But I'm like, I just teach people, if you can make some lifestyle modifications. So they tell diabetics not to fast. So let me give you an example. Remember I said that you and I quit eating at 6 p.m. and around 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
Well, what do we do for fuel? Well, your body taps into fat. When blood sugar's low, insulin's low, you burn this for fuel. Stored energy. Burns very clean. It's nice. But they don't make money if you're not eating. So you wake up and you eat. Now, a diabetic would eat, let's say you get out of bed, just for simple math, at 6 in the morning every day. They would eat and take their stuff and go on their work way. You've already told me that people are tired. We need to see this all the time. So the weekend happens, and let's say you slept in today till 9 or 10 a.m. Did any of those diabetics get up at 6 and eat, or did they continue to sleep?
I don't know.
You see?
Yeah.
So they keep sleeping. They don't wake up. You can ask any of them. So they were fasting. That's all that is, right? That's my point, right? So let me show you how they figured some of this stuff out. Grizzly bears, before they go in hibernation, they would eat a lot of berries. And fructose in berries, high fructose corn syrup, alcohol, all go directly to the liver. And when it goes to the liver, the highest blood sugar spike created is by sugar. It doesn't matter if it's organic. It doesn't matter if it's honey. The only carbohydrate God made in nature that's not wrapped in fiber is honey. He wrapped it in a beehive so that we wouldn't consume it. I'm just telling you, right? So people are like, oh my God. So now what happens is the bear eats this. It goes to the liver. It's stored as fat. And so now the bear goes to sleep and hibernates. They're not eating, right? So blood sugar levels are going to drop, insulin levels are going to drop, and they're going to tap into their stored fat for fuel. You and I and every human being on the planet does this every night. And if you wake up in the morning and you start to skip, right, and not eat, right, when you wake up, that insulin level stays lower. And after you hit 18 hours of not eating, your body starts to go into autophagy, which is when it starts to literally eat old damaged cells. Auto means cell, phagy means to eat. And it starts to eat old damaged cells that are not working right, like Miss Pac-Man. So old proteins and old organelles and things, and it uses it as fuel. And it enhances your thought process. You can go find food. It enhances your immune system and reproductive system. It does everything that you want,
Sure.
but it doesn't fuel a multi-trillion-dollar industry. That's the problem.
Uh-huh.
So everything in this society is backwards. I mean, they
Absolutely.
call it health insurance, but you don't use it till you're sick. They call it life insurance, but you don't use it till you're dead. These life insurance agents watch me, and I ask them all the time, if I'm wrong, if I'm right, give me a thumbs up. How do you base their term policies? It's based off their blood work. They know what day you're going to die based off your blood work. They don't lose money. Oh, absolutely, dude.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Just based on information from your blood work, you can pretty much know if someone would die from natural causes. Wow.
Dude, they know. They don't lose money. Like they've got this stuff wired down.
So you're basically saying that all of this feeds into this system of kind of, I guess you could say, misinformation almost, that's leading to cardiovascular disease. It's leading to, all these different diagnoses and stuff. It's just causing all these problems. That's basically what you're saying. Yeah.
If someone, think about this, if somebody is cured or fixed, do they have to go back in the system, or are they out of the system?
Absolutely. And I 100% agree with that. That's something I've noticed personally just in the last, I'm 26 now, like in the last 8 years since I became an adult. It's like if these companies, if these giant, like you said, $1 trillion companies aren't making money, then they're not making money. And that's their whole purpose. And so they're going to do whatever it takes to keep you coming back.
Yeah. And I love money. But here's what I've learned. If you serve more people, right, you'll get paid more money. And I'm a direct result of that. But I'm not about doing things that are going to harm people.
Sure.
That's the
As a
thing.
doctor,
And I mean,
yeah.
I did a Hippocratic oath, right?
Yes.
I tell people that all the time. And Hippocrates actually said, he talked about this. Let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. Like most people don't even understand that medication is actually it's made of petroleum.
Well, I don't want to have petroleum in my body. That's for sure.
I mean, go look up the PDR.net. I always tell people it stands for Prescribers Digital Reference. Today it used to be called the Physician's Desk Reference. You can look up any medication you're on. You can look up side effects. You can look up the stuff that I share with people that are these tools that are in there, and you can look up anything you want. And it's pretty eye-opening if you do some homework, right? And I just tell people, when I was in practice, I didn't tell people what to do. I explained it to where they would understand it. And nobody loves us more than us. So if I told a practice member to do something and something happened, I would get blamed. If I told them not to and something happened, I would get blamed. But honestly, at the end of the day, I would feel terrible. And I'm not saying all doctors feel terrible. We got into doctoring to help people. I'm not saying that, right? But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, they have to deal with that, not the doctor,
Sure.
right? So, and it's just, people need to understand. You need to be your own health advocate. You need to understand. And that's what I tell people. Look, as Solomon said in the Bible, and all gain understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you understand, you cannot be manipulated if you understand.
Mm-hmm.
But if I control what I'm feeding you, since you were both physically and mentally and spiritually, well, I can control anything that you think you do. And let me give you an example of that. I'm a little older than you. I'm 48. But my father used to smoke Camel cigarettes. And I would always say to people, Winston tastes good like a what? How do you spell relief? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I do these jingles to show people how they're wired and don't know they're wired.
Sure.
And so,
so
about
many
20
ways,
years,
by the way. Hundreds of ways, yeah.
Crazy, right? Chemically, mentally, right? All that. So I remember about 20 years ago, I took my niece to McDonald's, and I wasn't going to let her get French fries, but I had her get some apples, in her Happy Meal, right? And it was so funny. I remember she opens up the bag and goes, "Oh my God, Uncle Kenny, these are 3 months expired."
Whoa.
Now, in my mind, in your mind, we all think apples, those are healthy. But they're already cut. If I cut an apple right now, God made, like a crab apple, it turns brown.
It'll be brown.
Yeah, maybe even seconds, right? Yeah, right. It'll start brown. What do they put on that right?
No kidding. Oh,
And
that's
it's crazy,
Apple. Not
right?
even thinking about burgers or fries or everything else they make that's worse, you know?
Yep. Yeah, Dr. Lustig, it was crazy. He points out in his book, like the number one fast food restaurant is not McDonald's. It's actually the public schools food system. So 29% of the kids start their morning off with a bowl of loops of fruit and a glass of OJ. So I'd always ask people, what does a diabetic drink when their blood sugar is too low?
Isn't it orange juice?
Yeah, juice. So see, if God, when he makes a carbohydrate, he wraps it in fiber. Now, I used to juice at home. I used to make cold pressed juice. So I would maintain the enzymes and all these things. I used to make smoothies at home. And I always tell people if God intended that, it'd be hanging in the tree as a smoothie or as juice because you have removed the fiber or destroyed the fiber. And what fiber does, fiber fills us up, but it also keeps blood sugar lower. And when blood sugar stays lower, insulin stays lower. That's why they tell a diabetic to drink juice, which I call diabetes in a glass, because there's no fiber. So as soon as they drink it, their blood sugar, and now you're too young to know this, but this is why they start you off with chips and bread in restaurants, Mexican chips. There was an old commercial and they said, once you pop, you can't. And they would say, you can't have just one. They're always telling you what they're doing. Always. It's in plain hidden sight right in front of you. So you would eat those chips, which have had the fiber taken out. And the way this happened in the 1900s, they started removing fiber from the food because food was spoiling. So when they took the fiber out, the shelf life of the food would go up, but people's lives started to go down. Because when you take the fiber out of the fruit, you've just got water and sugar juice. It's no different in the food. Then in the 60s, they thought there's a lot of waste here because I used to juice, right? I mean, if I'd had 4 apples in this hand and I remove the pulp and the fiber, I've just got a little bit of juice over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they thought we can put that back in here. You know what I mean? Like we can fill more boxes up. Well, they created a substance called modified food starch. And it's got no flavor, no taste. The average American consumes about 275 pounds of this a year. And so what happens is this causes higher blood sugar spikes than table sugar. So they'll tell diabetics to start off their morning with oats and toast. What do you feed horses to fatten them up?
Good Lord. I mean, I guess they have hay, don't they? I don't know, besides hay.
No, that's what they would naturally eat.
Sure.
They feed them oats.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what they feed?
Horse, you feed them oats?
Yeah. You want to fatten them up because his carbohydrates cause the highest blood sugar spike, which spikes insulin, which turns on fat storage. They know all this. What do you know what you feed cows to fatten up cows?
What would it mean? Would it also be oats or something similar? Something?
They give them corn. Corn. You've heard alcohol called grain.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, they came out with the food pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
No science, but they tell you to eat 6 to 7 servings of grain per day, 6 to 11 servings a day. And they've got you believing that cholesterol is caused by eating red meat. Guess what they feed a cow? They feed them grain, which goes directly causing too much blood sugar spikes to the liver. When you fatten up the liver, they've known this since 1960s. When they took the fiber out of the food, put the modified starch back in, by the 1970s, is this showing up okay or is it
I can see it perfect. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So what it does, it led to diabetes 7-fold increase, which then increased also obesity. Oh yeah. Since the 60s. Yeah. Obesity went up 7-fold. And then the liver is the number one organ for detoxification. Liver disease went up 400 times.
Ooh.
And when you fill up your liver, you start getting blood work that shows up as high LDL, high triglycerides, high VLDL, high lipoprotein B, and your HDL goes down. So now cholesterol became a thing and Alzheimer's became a thing that wasn't a thing. And that birthed the whole brand new consumption of LDL lowering medications.
Wow. So with the whole, I guess you could say, the food pyramid, all this and the injection of the ways we process things with, in the 50s when they wanted to, feed a larger population with just more food, like I talked about earlier, to have this abundance of food. Is this all planned and calculated? Is just part of the business process to get you more fattened up and more food more consistently?
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
Sure. You sure make a great argument for it. That's for sure. And I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
they absolutely know what makes people eat more. They know what makes them, like they absolutely they hire scientists to do this. So once they saw what the bear did with the berries and the fructose, they figured they could liquefy it, and hence the birth of, you probably heard of high fructose corn syrup.
There's a
And
lot
it's
of
an over,
stuff
it's
around
like,
that.
I think I was reading a stat, they were saying something like a 70% or more, and I don't remember exactly, but it was like 70 something percent or more of the stuff you buy in the grocery store has that in it. So you throw that in, they take the fiber out. The problem with the fiber, when you remove fiber, your polyphenols, polysterols, the vitamins are all there that feed your microbiome that has 100 trillion cells. And Dr. Lustig in his book talks about how that 150 years ago medically, that people's body temperatures were 1.5 degrees hotter because we consume so many more grams of fiber a day. So when you feed those microbiome the fiber, they stay healthy. Your inflammation drops. Your allergies go. I mean, it's like, no, they know this. But again, if you fix it, there's no reoccurring stream. So it's just, people have no idea, man.
So
No.
so you've laid out, this diagnosis, I guess you could say, of what's been going on and how it's affecting your body. But and I kind of want to ask this in a twofold way. Like to give you a little bit more info about me. I was an athlete my whole life, a little bit pudgier as a kid, but then I did cross country and track in high school. Took off 50 pounds then, got pretty good at it, and I got scholarship to run cross country and track and in college. So eating healthy, being healthy, living a healthy lifestyle has always been very, very, very important to me, and I take a lot of consistent measures to try to do that. So but that being said, still, I find myself, like you talked about, being tired all the time, having, I mean, not much, but more belly fat than I would like to have, even though I'm working out all the time and trying to eat healthy. Like, what advice would you give to someone like me that is already in that health conscious lifestyle that can just kind of take it to a next level that gets away from all the stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, so what I found is a protocol, I call it, just a couple of tools, right? So we do, I'll show you. You were saying you fasted before, right? This is a friend of mine, Dr. Dieter. Everybody on here should follow this man. He's an internal medicine doctor, right? And this was Dr. Dieter eating the standard American diet, 220 pounds, found the power of fasting. 6 years between these two photos, he was fasting and he was running 3 times a week. Obviously, massive improvement. 2 months on this protocol, it's a chlorogenic acid tea that I share in a fiber matrix, clinically proven to do what I say. This guy went to that in 2 months. Now,
Wow.
why? And what it does is it
Two
stimulates
months?
your 2 months, no lie. Yeah, this is his twin sister, 2 months on the protocol.
Wow.
So, I mean, I have thousands. I'm serious, dude. I have thousands of before and after photos, people. And this is why we guarantee what we do. If people are consistent, use it properly, it won't let them down. But what it does, there's a chlorogenic acid tea. This is an extract. It's patented. It can't be copied. And what they do is you sip on this thing when you wake up. And it honestly just makes the food noise go away. And you can be fasting, okay, and still stuck in fat storage mode because you're insulin resistant. Now, the power of fasting, it does drop insulin levels. Okay, but this just makes it so simple, Adam. So people start this and they sip it, and they sip it all morning. I'm sipping it right. I still haven't eaten today. I haven't eaten since yesterday at like 2 p.m. So I'm like 26 hours in, right? I've done a 7-day fast. Now, why would I do that? If you fast for 24 hours without eating food, your body makes stem cells in your intestines that clean up the damage, the mucin layer. It also reduces inflammation in your joints. It resets everything. If you go 3 days, somebody, God bless them, underwent chemotherapy. This destroyed their immune system. It rebuilds their entire, it literally stem cells that will create new immune system that will reboot and create a new immune system. But people are not taught this. So again, what this does, you sip on this tea, it doesn't break your fast. And what it does, it acts like a natural, like a metformin with zero side effects. It is listed in the PDR.net. It drops triglycerides by 11% in like 30 days. It drops the A1C 3%. Metformin has a box warning, means you can die from it. Okay. And it only drops it like 1 to 1.5%. Now, when you eat, we use this fiber matrix. And the fiber matrix, what it does, is it is studied at the Cleveland Clinic. Now, why would the number one hardest tune on the planet study a fiber product, right? This is both, it's a prebiotic. Most people have heard of probiotics. Pro is when you're consuming like positive, good bacteria for your gut. Okay. This feeds the ones you already have there, the good ones. Okay. And it's equivalent to 6 cups of broccoli, 3 apples, or it's 6 cups of broccoli, 5 apples of pills, 2 cups of black beans. Now, that's clinically proven at the Cleveland Clinic to bring down LDL, to bring down triglycerides, to bring down your A1C, to increase your good HDL, and to suppress your blood sugar spike by almost half, 43% at the University of Sydney. So what does that mean? Like it's a type ones are like, well, how can I do? Yeah, the lower you keep blood sugar, the less insulin you need to either make or inject.
Yeah, it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Yep.
Yeah, and so now you're not eating, and when you do eat, you're controlling the blood sugar spike so your body can recover quicker and your energy starts to do it. Like, it's amazing. Like, I can't believe I was falling asleep, dude, at 6, 7 at night. I was exhausted. I had to eat after after I ate, I had to freaking take a nap. Everything in my body was hurting. My shoulder was hurting. Like, I had fatty liver, sleep apnea, had high blood pressure at the time. Cholesterol was going, I mean, everything, right? It's gone. Like, your body, and I'm not saying that happens in every case, no, but we've got so much data showing what this does. And that's why it's guaranteed. So like when I saw this was a godsend to me. I'm like, this just made sense. I was like, it's in the PDR. People can try it risk-free. And I
Yeah,
tell people, I'm like, prove me wrong. I
sure.
go circle day 88 and go, you know what I mean? And like, they're like, oh my God, I mean, I get messages every day from people. You saved my life. You saved my life. You saved my life. You know what I mean? That's why I go live every day and teach people this because they have no clue. And I didn't know either. I mean, I was so ignorant, I almost died. I mean, let me show you. This is me. Check this out, dude. This was me. I hope you can see this. That was me, February 26th of 2024. That was me.
You're kidding. Whoa.
Not even 2 months, I was in the hospital. This was me 35 days apart using this protocol.
Wow. That's not even the same person. I mean, it is the same person, but it doesn't even look like you know? Like,
I don't even feel like that. This is women in menopause. We A1C completely like that. We have, I mean, so much data on this. It's hilarious.
sure. And where can you find this?
If people want, they can reach out to me. If they go to my website, I have a website, Dr. Kenny, or yeah, let me make sure. Dr. Kenny Health. I think, I don't even know. Let's just set this thing up. It's nuts. Let me show you.
And I've been
Yeah,
seeing
go
you go live. Your consistency with you going, it's cool to see. I've kind of checked in every day or two. Really awesome. Really awesome. I commend you for your effort and what you're trying to do. Really, really cool.
Well, it's funny, man. I get restricted a lot, and for nothing. I mean, I don't even say the names of things because, right? But that should let people know. I mean, I always know when they're trying to stomp out light, you know it's right. So, but it's drkennyhealth.com. drkenny, Kenny, health.com. And they can go in there, and there's where they can look at the solution. It's called, there's a button, just follow around. You can look around. Yeah. And people, do your homework, right? Like, study, learn, but it's been a world. I mean, I think I flew, God, almost I think it was 250, 300,000 miles last year speaking. I'm getting ready to start
Good
again.
Lord. That's
Yeah.
a
Just
lot.
going all over and speaking. It's been crazy, man. Yeah, I can't even. I've been to other countries already doing this. It's been really wild. People
So
are starving for it.
has TikTok / content creation has that become what you do full time, or are you still practicing?
No, I haven't practiced. No, I do this. I can't even keep up with this, man. Literally. Yeah. I'm teaching people what I do now because I have thousands of people reaching out to me a day. I mean, it's insane. And
Yeah.
I just had to rebuild, retool. You know what I mean? So
Wow. What a fantastic story. That is absolutely amazing. And I will absolutely be taking a look at your website to see what all's going on there. I have one more question for you, Dr. Kenny.
yeah, brother, absolutely.
Something that I ask every single podcast guest I have on, and I believe actually you're going to be number 20. So shout out number 20
Nice.
is, for that kind of 18 to 20-ish age range, what's the single biggest piece of advice you could give to them as they're becoming an adult, entering the real world for the first time?
Okay, great question, man. So, What I would say is this. One of my favorite quotes in the Bible: when you find a man diligent in his works, he'll stand before kings. Always remain humble. Always remain hungry. Never stop learning. And if you do that, he will bless you beyond your understanding. This is not, I get emotional. This is not in my nature, like of my hand. I mean, he has put so many people in my life that just blows me away, because I should have died twice. And that's one thing, man. Like, we're all invincible until we're not. And like, I've always been that person to take massive action anyway. And when I see something, when I feel it in my heart, I just go. And the word desire in Latin, de meaning from, sire means father. He put it there for a reason. And what he's impressed must be expressed. And if you're not doing what he's expressed, too many people chase money. And if you chase a mission, the commission will come. And if you put people first, he will bless you. And if you just go at that as serving people, and again, the good book says, it says, those that sow sparingly reap sparingly, but those that sow abundantly reap abundantly. And if you just make your life, right, your mission to serve, man, it's the most humbling thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow. No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Dr. Kinney, you were a wealth of knowledge. I would love to have you on again in the next, sometime in the next year, just to talk about this stuff more deeply.
Absolutely, brother.
My channel's growing pretty quickly. I just praise God for this too, but happened to gain about 3,500 subscribers on YouTube in the last 3 weeks. So it's really exciting to see that the passion and the work that I've been putting into this podcast and channel and what I've been doing is being multiplied in a way that I didn't even see coming. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be a part of that and come on and talk to people. And just thank you for that. That was really cool. But
absolutely, man. You never know how far reaching something you say today is going to affect, people tomorrow, right?
Absolutely. So where can people find you in all those places? What's your
so if you're on YouTube, it's at Dr. Kinney 11.
Mm-hmm.
Over on Facebook, I'm just Kinney Harless. I also have a Dr. Kinney Harless page. And then Instagram, it's at Today with Dr. K, DRK. And then over on, I got to check TikTok. I remember the old one, but now I'm like trying to remember what's my new one, right? So if they want to follow me over there, it's at Kenneth Harless 3. So that's KENNETH HARLESS.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure to put those and blast them everywhere, because you're doing awesome things, and safe travels as you go around the world, and and just in general, just God
You as well.
Need to bless you. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time, and we'll chat again soon.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for having me.
Of course.